This is Amsak. In this video we are looking at the Magna Carta. So first of all, let's look up to the lead up to the Magna Carta. As in 1199, Richard I died without an heir to the throne. So this meant that John, who was the brother of Richard I and the son of Henry II, was forced to contend with his nephew, Arthur, for the throne. Now John was able to consolidate his power, yet he immediately angered much of the population with his cruel treatment of prisoners and the murder of Arthur. So King John's foreign policy in France also meant that by 1206 he had lost the duchies of Normandy and Anjou along with some other territories. A further embarrassment for King John came in 1208 when a feud with Pope Innocent III meant that King John became the first English sovereign to be excommunicated from the Catholic Church. So after another defeat in France in 1213, King John then imposed heavy taxes on his barons to help fund his expensive and failing foreign policy. So when the barons refused to pay, they were punished severely and their property was seized. But by this time, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Stephen Langton, who had been named by the Pope, started to channel baronial unrest and put increasing pressure on the king for concessions. So when the king refused to obey the law, the barons, who were led by Robert Fitzwalter, were able to capture John and gain control of London. So this meant that on June 15th, 1215, at Runnymede, King John was forced to accept a document known as the Articles of the Barons, and 4 days later, after further modifications, the king and the barons issued a formal version of the document, which was known as the Magna Carta. So the Magna Carta was effectively the first written constitution in European history, and it contains 63 clauses which mainly aimed at the property rights of the barons and powerful citizens. So this meant that as it only applied to free men, it was not applicable to the majority of the population who were unfree peasants. But the Magna Carta promised the protection of church rights, the protection of barons from illegal imprisonment, access to swift justice, and limitations on feudal payments to the crown. Now, although the Magna Carta was created to create peace between King John and the barons, England was soon plunged into civil war when the Pope declared that the Magna Carta was invalid, and this was because King John signed the Magna Carta under duress. But when King John died of dysentery in 1216, his 9-year-old son Henry III took the throne, and throughout the 13th century the Magna Carta was reissued several times until it was finally made part of English law. So the Magna Carta was also influential in the 17th century advancements in the law, with the Petition in Right in 1628 and the Habeas Corpus Act of 1679. And these were influenced by the Magna Carta, but it made it applicable for the entire population rather than just the elite. The Magna Carta also existed as a model for the American colonists for their demand of liberty from the English crown in 1776 in the American Revolution, which you can watch in my video, and its legacy is imitated in the Bill of Rights and the US Constitution, and that includes the Fifth Amendment, which said that nor shall any person be deprived of life, liberty or property without due process of the law, and that imitates the Magna Carta. So thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye.